Good afternoon. I'm Stacey Van Dyke. As the Russian assault on Ukraine is getting more violent, there's a massive humanitarian crisis throughout the region. Closer to home, a local group is gathering to show support for Ukraine on the Veterans Memorial Bridge. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling is joining us live from the area now. Aaron, what are you seeing?
Well, right now, Stacey, they're still waiting for more people to show up. It's going to be starting around 4:30 p.m. They're asking if you do come, wear warm clothing, warm boots, bring a Ukrainian flag and a U.S. flag as they show solidarity for Ukrainian people. Now, I did speak with Bill Polanik of the Ukrainians in North Dakota Facebook page, and he said that it's just heartwarming and it's amazing to see the world come together to show support and love for Ukraine and their people and for those that are in that country as well, as they're facing continuous aggression from Russia. But right now, we're still waiting for more people to show up for today's rally. Live in Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Thanks so much, Aaron, and we'll keep checking in with Aaron throughout the evening. Well, 2 years of dealing with the pandemic has been especially hard on children and teens, and now many are worried and asking questions about the war in Ukraine. Navigating how to talk to children about what's going on can be tough for parents. Pediatric psychologists say parents should shield younger children from disturbing images, and for teens, ask questions about what they know.
I want to keep you safe because you're my child. But I also want to talk to you. I want to learn from you. I want to learn with you. If they start talking about, are we going to have war here? The older the child, the more honest you can be. I hope not, but I can't guarantee you that in your lifetime, you'll never have a war.
Dr. Jensen also says taking action can help children understand what's going on around them. For example, families could make a card for someone in the military or pray for the safety of Ukraine. Today, Governor Doug Burgum issued a proclamation saying North Dakota joins the international community in condemning this violence in Ukraine and stands in support of their citizens and their sovereignty. The governor has declared March 2nd, 2022 a day of prayer for the people of Ukraine. The proclamation notes that many North Dakotans can trace their ancestral roots to Ukraine and that the U.S. and Ukraine share common values, including freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. To show support for Ukraine and its people, the governor's residence will be lit in blue and yellow, the colors of the Ukrainian flag, tonight. Well, it's a sunny afternoon, but we're expected to get sub-zero tonight. Hutch is here with the first look at the forecast. Hutch?
Mighty chilly indeed. In fact, the coldest of the next 7 days, as we will endure those north winds as well. That'll be strongest this evening. So bundle up as you're heading outdoors. We do still see some blue skies from our home of economy location there in Devil's Lake. Look at the temperatures up there. Single digits for Devil's Lake. Hallock, Grand Forks at 10. Warm it up to 19 now as our temperatures in Fargo, as forecasts in the afternoon, are falling. 27 in Fergus Falls and Wadena, the warm spots here in our area. Take a look at the winds from the north. Nothing too strong, but we do have a few areas, including Fargo and Fergus Falls, gusting over 20 miles per hour at times. So here in the valley, those wind chills a little biting. 10 below is what it feels like on exposed skin. We do have a wind chill advisory for the northern valley. Highway 200 and points north is where it will have the most bite to it, likely because of this. Clearer skies up north will contribute to some more rapidly falling temperatures overnight, and we'll have a chance out west and south of seeing some snow showers as well. Planning forecast, it's going to be cold and wind chilly, so bundle up. Single digits by midnight, near zero, below zero by midnight up north. Now we'll have details on how low we go, and we have an update on the first alert weather days for Saturday and Sunday. The weekend storm on track, but there's changes, and you'll know all about them here in a moment.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. As we move into March, ice fishing season is winding down. Minnesota DNR officials will be out on Crystal Lake in Burnsville Thursday, reminding anglers to remove their ice fishing shelters by the state's deadline. Structures must be off the ice in the southern 2/3 of the state by Monday. The northern third has until March 21st. They also remind anglers to always test the ice before venturing out onto a frozen lake or pond. The Rolling Freedom Rally Convoy is expected to roll into Fargo this week. The Freedom Truckers are coming through the area tomorrow, and according to a social media post, they plan to be at the Petro gas station on 45th Street starting at 4 p.m. The Fargo Police Department tell us they're aware of the Rolling Freedom Rally Convoy event planned. They add, while FPD fully anticipates this event will operate within the parameters of the law, there will likely be traffic congestion in that area between 4 and 6. FPD encourages any driver who is able to detour around this area to do so. Fargo police are working with other local and state agencies to monitor the convoy as it moves through the state. A home in South Fargo has around $2,000 in damages after a fire earlier today. It happened around 8:45 this morning in the 1200 block of 14th Street South. Fire crews say the fire started in a bedroom but was quickly put out. The homeowners were inside at the time, but they were able to get out safely. In Wahpeton, police are searching for the person suspected of starting the Richland County Law Enforcement Center on fire. Authorities say they saw a person go into the lobby around 9:30 last night. A short time later, officials say a fire started in the lobby. The inmates were taken to Cass and Barnes County jails as a precaution. Grand Forks police are warning of a new donation scam. The department says they've been getting several phone calls about a scammer calling and asking for donations on behalf of police. They say this is a scam and they're investigating. Meanwhile, other scams have been popping up too, asking you to buy gift cards and send them the codes, and scammers claiming to know a relative that's in trouble and needs money. Police say if you have any doubt, hang up, and if you experience a scam, report it to the North Dakota Attorney General's website. Construction is expected to begin soon on what one group is calling the largest carbon capture and storage project of its kind in the world. The $4.5 billion project will take carbon dioxide from ethanol plants across 4 states and send it to North Dakota through a 2,000-mile pipeline. The carbon dioxide will then be permanently stored in underground rock formations. Summit Carbon Solutions says the project is on track to be operational in 2024. A Perham native and Concordia grad is running for the governor of Minnesota. Former Twin Cities media personality Corey Heppela made the announcement yesterday on Twitter. He says he's exhausted by the toxic two-party divisiveness in St. Paul, and he's running as a centrist third-party candidate. And what has become a tradition for presidents, President Biden is heading out to sell the American public on the items laid out in last night's State of the Union address. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill with the president's message and the reaction from the lawmakers who will be asked to approve his agenda.
President Biden left the White House and headed to the swing state of Wisconsin, fresh off his first State of the Union address. While the president's trip will focus on his domestic agenda, the war in Ukraine took center stage Tuesday night, with a bipartisan show of support for Ukraine and the international response.
The only part I agreed with was the part on Ukraine. We need to stand united. We need to work with our NATO partners and allies.
Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. was one of the First Lady's special guests, and the president said the U.S. will continue to provide humanitarian and military aid. Senate leaders are now working on an assistance package.
There are very good discussions going on about that right now. The best place to include it is in the upcoming omnibus bill, and that's what we intend to get done.
But there are also bipartisan calls for the president to punish Russia with sanctions against their oil and gas industry and to expand drilling in America to offset the global supply.
Russia's a big producer of oil, so we've got to step up and fill that gap when it comes to liquid fuels.
The president's domestic agenda faces a much tougher sell in an equally divided Senate. Facing the highest inflation in decades, the president continues to push his Build Back Better agenda, which he says will help struggling families.
Well, what we do is we pass the legislation that we have been pushing, which will bring down these costs and make living more affordable for working people.
But Democratic Senator Joe Manchin remains opposed to the plan, telling reporters last night, quote, "I've never found that you can lower costs by spending more."
I've heard so many good things from.
Meanwhile, Senate Democrats immediately turned their focus towards Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, whose confirmation process is now getting underway. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Biden also announced a new unity agenda with issues he believes will garner bipartisan support, including mental health care, addressing the opioid epidemic, supporting veterans and their health, as well as reducing the cancer death rate. The Senate Judiciary Committee will hold confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson starting March 21st. If confirmed, Jackson would be the first black woman to serve as a justice in the court's 200-plus-year history. Jackson met with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Republican Leader Mitch McConnell this morning. The organization that handles claims on behalf of Jewish people who suffered under the Nazis has agreed to extend another $720 million to provide home care and supportive services to frail and vulnerable Holocaust survivors. The New York-based Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany said the money will be distributed to more than 300 social welfare organizations globally. They estimate the funds will pay for services for approximately 120,000 impoverished Holocaust survivors. Since 1952, the German government has paid about $9 $90 billion to individuals for suffering and losses resulting from persecution by the Nazis. The dates have been set for the 2022 season of horse racing in North Dakota. The State Racing Commission has approved 6 race dates. You'll be able to place bets July 15th, 23rd, 24th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. The horse park is west of I-29 on 19th Avenue North.